Roller Coaster Tycoon versus PARKITECT. Roller Coaster Tycoon is one of the most iconic PC games ever. However, did you know there is a game that looks just like it, but it has modern graphics? It is called PARKITECT. Let me show you the differences between this game on this map called Highway Hijinks. You see, this map is split down the middle by this highway, and if you recall, Roller Coaster Tycoon had a map called Funtopia, where it had a similar scenario with a road in the middle. In PARKITECT, I'm going to build a Studios Park, Blue Moose Studios Park. This is a fake movie company I made up. Because of this, I decided to take advantage of the scenery pieces PARKITECT offers and build a Hollywood wonderland. And we are also going to add rides like this flat ride and this wild mouse. The one thing RCT has over PARKITECT in terms of roller coaster building is what is known as backwards building. For instance, how about you build the brake run before you build the lift hill? In Roller Coaster Tycoon, you can do that, but in PARKITECT, you need to finish your layout. You can't build backwards. Going back to the scenario, I also added some bumper cars and a top spin. These rides added more excitement to the park. Another thing PARKITECT has similar to Roller Coaster Tycoon is its research feature, meaning you unlock new rides and attractions for the theme park by spending in-game money and time for research projects. And researching a coaster, I got the inverting wooden coaster. This is a very expensive model, but I think we can do it with the money we have. The layout is something similar to a gravity group at the beginning, but the inversion is inspired by a GCI. The PARKITECT model looks a lot like the GCI version as opposed to an RMC. I had to cut some costs by making the curves shorter than they need to be, but I fixed that later on. Next up is building a studios area, something similar to what you find at Universal Studios Japan, for instance. Another thing PARKITECT has over RCT is scenery, because there are just a bunch of pieces to be used for architecture. We have different color options and wall customization, allowing players to create more detailed and realistic parks. Next up is the LSM launched coaster. I thought of something like Red Force or Accelerator, for instance. So it was at this point that we are able to reach the goals and complete the scenario. The cool thing about PARKITECT is that after you complete a scenario, you unlock mods that can be downloaded from the Steam Workshop. This allows me to make a better looking park, but Roller Coaster Tycoon is a game that's still very active. Another reason why these games are still so beloved is because of their replayability. There are endless combinations of rides and attractions that players can mix and match, so no two parks will ever be exactly the same. Additionally, the game offers a variety of scenarios and challenges to keep players engaged, ensuring that there's always something new to do. But it's not just the gameplay that has people that keep coming back to Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. The game also has a certain nostalgia factor that many people really like it so much. Roller Coaster Tycoon also had better trees than PARKITECT. They just have a really simple feel to them. Roller Coaster Tycoon also has mods that you can download somewhere, I guess. Now let's tour our park. We start at the Hollywood Boulevard. We have a gas station and a halfway circle here. There's also this movie theater, which is the entrance to the Wild Mouse. On the other side, there is a hotel and a diner. The main Winnie, a Winnie is a term that people in the themed industry use to refer to the castle at the Magic Kingdom, for instance, something that attracts you, you know. In this case, it is the train station inspired by Union Station. Then we also have a mini European land. This was a backlot back in the day, but they decided to make it part of the park, so the facades have a cheap feel to them. It's not really accurate to Europe. There's also Mr. Bean the Ride here. This is a mansion that houses an RMC single rail coaster. These are very unique coaster models that we can find these days. Then, crossing the highway, we enter via the Studios arch to the Studios area, and this has many Studios facades and a cafeteria, for instance, but there is also a launched roller coaster. On the bottom of the hill, there is a western area that used to be part of the backlot, but when western movies went out of fashion, they decided to turn it into part of the theme park and the land. Then they decided to add this wooden roller coaster here. Then we have the backlot. This is not fully accessible to guests. It is inspired by Universal Studios in Hollywood as well as Disney MGM Studios. The backlot consists of just facades with no interior because the interiors are in the studios, just like in real life studios. There's also a top secret studios here, trademark. Both PARKITECT and Roller Coaster Tycoon offer players the opportunity to design and manage their own theme parks, but they differ their focus and the types of attractions and features that are available to players. So, which game is better? Ultimately, it comes down to you guys. If you like more the nostalgia and the graphics of Roller Coaster Tycoon, or also if you like those but you want something more modern that can appeal to you and do more architecture with it. Now, click the video on the screen right now to see more PARKITECT.